who the hell are you and what do you want from me? And when they opened the door,
welcome to the show. Tired of the hype about living the dream? It's time for truth. This is the place for tools, power, and real talk so you can create the life you dream and deserve. Your ultimate life. Subscribe, share, create. You have infinite power.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Your Ultimate Life. The podcast has been going now for years. It's dedicated to one thing, helping you to create a life that you love every day, purpose, prosperity, joy, and one that's within your control. You can create it with your choices, with your gifts, with your talents, and with your skills. I have a special guest today, Anya Zibert. Did I say that well?
yeah, well done. Well done,
Yay.
Kellan.
All right.
Perfect.
So and she's here to tell us about her version of this ultimate life, who she is, how she creates it, and what she does. And I don't do intros, so we're just going to dive in and learn about her glorious work, persona, and everything as we go. So, Anya, if someone says living the ultimate life, what does that mean to you?
What does that mean to me? Well, I have a baseline that I'm sharing now with, people around the world. So we are multidimensional beings with limitless power to create our own reality. And everything starts there. I decided that I want to create a reality without stress. I want to have a lot of fun. I want to feel a lot of playfulness. I want to have a lot of playfulness in my life. I want to, experience a lot of adventures. I want to be surrounded with people I love and with, enjoy the things that I love. So basically, completely different life that we were taught that it's waiting for us when we were younger. And I just decided I don't want to live like they told me to. So I'm creating my own.
So I love that. One of the things that happens when I or you or any one of a number of people talk about creating life, we use these expansive and energetic words and create your own reality and all this stuff, which sounds so good. And we say, and we can have that and live that way. And I'm going to agree with you. And I'm also going to acknowledge lots of people hear that and say, yeah, for sure, whatever. Sounds too weird, too woo-woo. I got to pay bills. I got to do this stuff. And I got to have a life that's like anything but that. So let's do some concrete work for a sec, because I'm not challenging you because we do create our reality, but let's tie it to some on the ground stuff. So what do you do to go about creating a life that you love? What things do you do that creates this beauty that you just described?
Yeah, I mean, it's never only, light and love. I'm not this like new age guru or whatever that is just like praising, like, oh, you have to live like this. You have to live like this. No, I mean, we all have our own stories. We all have past experiences that, that formed us. And my background in professional way is in recruitment. I was a headhunter, like a corporate headhunter. And in 2017, something like I could say like awakening started. And I could absolutely it changed everything for me, because I started seeing energies, I started feeling energies, and I saw that people were pushed together just because of money, and I couldn't be part of that anymore. So then I decided I don't want to be a part of that anymore, because nobody can push me, even though if I have to say no to good money or whatever, because I believe that I can be prosperous, I can be wealthy, in alignment with my soul, with my values. So yeah, I mean, it's a journey. It's absolutely a journey. I left a lot of things behind that are now new things are coming into my life, and I'm like rebuilding my life. But what I do in general, like every day, I'm not going to say every day, but a few times per week, I get messages. hey, Anya, I just started feeling like this. I see things. I don't know, something happened. Like, people, they just, they just come to this point that they think that they're crazy, that they're going crazy. And I normalize that because it's like, I know how you feel. I've been there. I see you. I've been there. Whether they are, I don't know, like, in a job 9 to 5, whether they have their own company, or they are just like regular people, or they are, super wealthy or whatever. But when they are starting this awakening journey, it can get pretty intense, pretty confusing, pretty, I would say it can be very difficult. And yeah, I'm here to support people, to create this open space for them, safe space, to express themselves, and also to help them upgrade their CV, with extra abilities that they're awakening.
So,
So
no, that's
yeah.
fabulous. So when I go back a little bit and ask, so you had a career. It could have been an accountant, engineer, lawyer, whatever. You were a recruiter. And so you went and found talented people to fill mostly boxes in the sort of corporate world that we all we were all socialized in. We were all taught to do a thing. And in that thing, your position was, I'm going to go find talented people to fill these jobs. And you said in 2017, something started to happen. And that's a common thing. Sometimes people have trauma. Sometimes they have some extraordinary experience. Sometimes some life upheaval. I don't know. But when something like what happened that let you or forced you or invited you to no longer ignore those things that had been floating around us all the time, and they are, we just ignore them. So what happened to say, wait a minute, I'm going to do something different? What happened?
Yeah, good question. This journey is not linear. Like, it's very difficult sometimes to put all the dots together.
Yeah.
But okay, if I go step back, it was in 2005 when I had this summer job in England, and I found myself in a situation like when I was selling books door to door.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was really intense experience because I didn't know what to expect. Like, I was pretty naive about it. But what was really interesting, when there were few stuff, like that happened then. But one of the most interesting stuff was when people opened the door, and I was like selling, like this children books, and I was from another country, and they were looking at me like, who the hell are you and what do you want from me? And when they opened the door, I could feel them. I could feel the emotions that they were generating. So basically, if somebody was mad or, I don't know, frustrated or whatever, I could feel that. It was so intense. Today I know because I'm an empath, yeah. But back then I didn't know that. So basically, after, yeah, it was 2005. So after that experience, like a month later, my body collapsed. I didn't understand it. Like, rationally, I didn't understand it. But my body collapsed. And now I know because it was just too much of everything. And it was probably a month later. Yeah, I was sitting like next to my laptop, and I was editing my MySpace profile. Do you know MySpace? Like, it
I
was
do
before
remember
Facebook.
MySpace, right?
Yeah, Tom was everyone's friend.
Right.
So I was editing MySpace profile, and the main question was like, what should be my username? Like, how should I call myself? And this very, very distinct voice, I heard this very distinct voice in my head: Anya, you are free spirit. I had no idea what does that mean. No idea. But I was like, okay, I'm going to take it. That sounds nice. That sounds cool. So from that moment on, I was, I'm Anya Free Spirit. But yeah, little did I know that was kind of very, like pivotal point in my life, because everything from that point on, yeah, started changing, or like kind of forming the story around it. So in 2017, I went to my first past life regression, and I saw some stuff, connected to that free spirit. And of course, I saw myself dying. I saw, myself like in energy form and stuff like that. And when you experience stuff when you experience this, you cannot forget about it. Like, it's embedded in you. Like, you change, even though if you don't understand what is happening. But yeah, after that experience, I would say in next 14 days, pretty weird stuff started happening in my job as well. People were like coming to interview, because I held interviews.
Of course.
Mostly it was C-level, so like line managers or CEOs. And yeah, like people when they came for an interview, they just started saying the weirdest stuff, like, hey, you came here to planet Earth and you brought this energy, like this is your mission. And I was like, what the hell are you saying? Like, I had no idea, seriously. So I thought that I'm going crazy. Like, like your world starts falling apart. I wasn't really looking for explanation because I was too afraid for my own survival, and my body started reacting. I had some health issues as well. Yeah, my personal life started falling apart. Then later I got separated as well. Moved
Wow.
away from family, and yeah, a lot of very
you said something
stuff.
way early in the beginning about normalizing this. So what I'm hearing you say is we have to tie these two threads together, because when a person has a job and they're in this sort of machine, and then you start getting the feeling that we're more than that. We're these infinite beings, and we are having a physical experience. We're here, and stuff invades all the time. And sometimes we're open, and mostly we're not. And when that starts to happen, it looks different for each person. And like you, I imagine nearly everyone has this fear. I'm weird. Something's wrong. I'm not supposed to be feeling like this or hearing this or seeing this. Hello, I'm a candidate for the insane asylum or whatever. And so normalizing it is saying, I think, this is okay. You're not weird. That's part one. Part two, maybe you need to get curious about what this means. Because maybe it means you're bursting out of the little straitjacket you've sandwiched yourself into, and it's okay to ask those questions. What does it mean? And then what should I do with it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. And I really discovered, that for me, it's really important to have this connection to my heart, because all the answers, I know it sounds really, like fluffy or whatever, but it's really this connection to your heart. Like, all the answers about your wishes, like who are you, are in your heart. And now when I'm talking to people, when I start talking to people, I ask them, like, if you ask somebody, hey, what do you want? Your mind will give you an answer. But if I bring them to this space, like this expanded space where they have everything available, and they have absolutely no limitations there, and they feel relaxed, they feel, carefree. And I ask them from that space, what do you want? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? It's magical, Kellan. It's magical, because then they give the answers. And then it's like, oh my God, like when they get out of meditation, it's like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I just saw that. I cannot believe that I just felt that. I was like, yes, this is your essence. This is your truth. This is what your soul is showing you. So if you want to align with this vision or whatever, it's possible. And I can help you. I can help you with contacts. I can help you with opportunities. I'm not guarantee anything, because they're your choices. But if you saw something, that means that it already exists on some level, in some reality, in some dimension. And it's really, now for me, it's normal, because I experienced it and I helped so many people do it. And it's really simple, actually.
So let's talk about the do it part. Let's talk about the do it.
Yeah.
So someone has these experiences, whether they've come to you first or after something, and they're still caught up in the matrix. We'll use that word just because everybody kind of knows what that is, the machinery. Yeah. And then they see this beautiful vision. And if I were to describe it, it would be, this is the soul essence showing you another multidimensional possibility that exists somewhere in reality already. You have blinded it out or blocked it out up to now, not because you're bad, but because of socialization and conditions and beliefs and all the rest. Okay. Then there's this whole question of, yeah, that was so beautiful. I'm so excited. And we talk about your ultimate life, and I use the words purpose, prosperity, and joy, but people are going to use whatever words they want. Then there's this big question about, okay, how do I do that? Because here I am in the box, and I've opened the door, and or looked out the window, or both, and I can see this, but I have no idea. I mean, you've told me that it's okay to feel this. Oh, yay. But now what? I'm going to go back home, wherever that is, down the block or around the world, and be back in the box with this nagging vision that I've seen that was so powerful, and not nagging, but inspiring. What do you have? How do you help people start to first continue to own that that's a real possibility, and then figure out what's next? What's the first step? Because most people don't just jump off the cliff and build their parachute on the way down. They gotta do some concrete thing. So where do we go from there?
Yeah, very good question. So first start is awareness. Like you said, oh, they got something, like this vision or whatever. This is awareness. This is expanded awareness. What is possible? So when we expand our awareness, when we expand our consciousness, we expand also our, field of possibilities, of opportunities. And what people need to do, of course, everything is followed by action steps. But first of all, they need to know that this is possible. Yeah, this is like the first step. And then it's like, okay, what can I do today? What can I do today that is aligned with who I am, with what I like to do? And it will bring me one step closer to this vision. Is that, like contact somebody or write something, express yourself. It's all about us. So I'm trying to tell people that it's not about outside. Yeah, especially now. Now I came to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I have enough of information. It's, like we have enough of information. Now it's really about walking the talk, because you can go to another psychedelic, session. You can go to another retreat. You can go to take another course or whatever. But you don't need that. All you have to do is remember who you really are, but you have to let that happen. So to face your shadows, this is very, very essential. I would start there, because awakening, it's not fun, but I try to keep it on playful level. Yeah. So whenever somebody is like going, crazy, or like really, really scared or overwhelmed with everything, I reframe few stuff, like what is happening. Hey, let's see it from different perspective. Let's see it, this perception, because our perception creates our reality.
It does.
So I help people to reframe things. It definitely can help, and it's so much easier to go through this process.
All right, so you start with go ahead. When you don't hold,
when you don't hold this perception that somebody told you, like, oh yeah, it's like that. No, because whatever perception you have, that kind of reality you will create. And I don't want to tell people like, what to see or what to feel, but I just give them space so they can do it their own way.
So when you see that beauty, and a person does, immediately juxtaposed against that are the old stories and beliefs and barriers, and maybe naysayers around them. Maybe people say, who are you to think you can be creative or go create some meaning in the world or do whatever it is, right? And so it seems like what you're saying is a really important part of the process is, how do I set this up? Because you said two things. One, it's not a linear journey. It's not a straight line. It goes all over the place. And the second thing is, you have to take the first concrete step. Maybe it's talk to somebody. Maybe it's dare for the first time to express a vision that you have of alleviating suffering in the world or helping build this thing or whatever it is. And if we go with the premise that there's no limits, there's still always a first step, and there's still always this resistance that comes from the before, whether it's shadow work or whether it's lack of support or whether it's old stories of not good enough, fears and all the rest. So what is the process to help me take the first and then the second and the third step to sort of stay on this circuitous, wiggly path to get there?
Yeah. Okay. I can just share, example. So
Good.
when I work with people, and I have different kind of individuals that I was working with. So, for example, somebody just wanted to become a speaker, or oh my God, I see myself. I want to start my own, I don't know, spiritual company, like spiritual entrepreneurship or something like that. Yeah. So basically now they are in this 9-to-5 job. And first of all, they need to know, okay, like can I leave this job? Will I be safe? I never burn down everything and just jump off the cliff, because you're not doing yourself a favor. You're not doing your nervous system a favor. There's always action step, but it's about bridging things. So I don't call myself, or sometimes people call me coach, but I'm not a coach, because maybe I'm a mentor, coach, guide, or something like that. But the thing is, I stick with them. Like, I'm next to them when they're going through this process. I open my world to them. I connect them with people. Like, hey, if you want to become a speaker, contact this person. Like, he or she, will expand even more awareness and give you some opportunities. Are you ready to do that? No? Why not? Well, I don't know what he will think. Well, okay, that's your decision, but now you have the option. Yeah, you have the option. Or, for example, I want to have my own podcast. Okay, so where is your fear? Yeah, I don't know if I'm good on camera or whatever. It's like, okay, send me the video. I will not comment it. Just send me the video, and that will be your first step. So you will record yourself and send somebody the video. Like small steps like that. And it's like, okay, now you can download this software, this, and it's so amazing when people surrender, and they're not just like listening to me, but they're actually enjoying the process. Yeah, they're enjoying the process, because the most important thing is that they are enjoying. If they feel pressure, if they feel, that we always need to stretch out of our comfort zones. But I I don't believe that people, suffer when they step out of their comfort zone. It's not about that. They can stretch, they can, feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I don't want that people suffer, and I don't believe that, because that's not effective, not even short term, not even long term. But yeah, I've seen so many incredible transformation, and people, like, at first they have one goal, but when they start following this, synchronicities, and it's all about bringing this awareness to themselves, to start loving themselves, to facing their shadows, and just working on themselves, not absorbing outside information. This results in synchronicities, like new people, and I'm holding space for all that to happen. And when they're ready, like, I see, oh my God, you don't need me anymore. Now you can fly. Yeah, now you can fly. And I always say that you don't need me anymore. I'm not your crutch. I was like, you are not here. I'm not here, to support you all the time, because you need to fly now. And yeah, I say that we have a rocket, like a rocket ship. And when you send the rocket out in the space, there are parts falling off. Yeah. And I'm that part. Yeah. I'm that part that comes back to the earth, and they go up in the sky. So
that's fabulous. You said several things that I want to go back and think about. One of them is learning to love yourself. I think a lot of the shadow, a lot of the weight, a lot of the baggage, a lot of the holdback, the anchors to the ground come from the stories that we have about past failure, about past meaning, about difficult or traumatic experiences or struggles that everybody goes through, and we allowed them to hang on to us like so many rocks and tell the story of unworthiness and incapability and all of the rest. And you're describing opening a possibility. And as you talk, I have this seeing of light all the time. There's light everywhere. So you see there's a lightness which allows a person to fly, to float, to rise up, to let go of this baggage, these anchors, these rocks, and to say, you know what, maybe I could. What if I could be a speaker, be a podcaster, be an author, be a person who loved others? And it's so much of it starts with what you said, which is two things: loving yourself and then being willing to surrender to possibility. There is a possibility. And no, it may fail. You may get bashed, whatever. But the exhilarating joy of having done something new and to try it, pulled by this sort of light and vision, seems to me to be so important. What do you do to help people start with this thing of self-love? Because I notice that may be job one, or certainly 1.5, for people to shed the idea that somehow they're small, unworthy, not capable, stuck in the cogs, whatever it is, to get to this place of truly experiencing and believing their own divinity, capability, possibility, that kind of stuff. How do you help me do that?
Yeah, because I'm mostly focused on this career empowerment. Yeah. When people are transitioning their careers, they're stepping into their power, they're stepping into their soul purpose. So I always say, your past experiences do not define you. What defines you is who you are today, now, and who you believe you can become tomorrow. Past, it forms us. Of course, it has some kind of influence, but it doesn't define us. And when people really get that, it's like, oh my God, everything that happened in the past, I made decisions that, I thought that they were the best because I was on that level of awareness. Now I'm on completely different level of awareness. So now I would, do different, make different decisions. And it's really, really powerful when people just shed, all that past beliefs. I know it's really difficult, and there's like so much talk around it. Oh yeah, just let go, and subconscious beliefs and blah blah blah. But it's stories. These are stories because we have been all. Even now, I know that I am programmed. I have a lot of programs in me and, conditioning, and we all have, but all these programs and conditionings, they have absolutely nothing to do with us. So I just learned recently when I put myself in this state. So, in 1 second, just picture that you just arrived to planet Earth and there's no past and there's no future. It's just present moment. It's just you. Okay. And from that space, from that state of being, you start making decisions or, choices or whatever. And it's really powerful because they are not attached to any past, like emotions or whatever, because that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So, this is actually RJ Spina. I really like also listening to what he's saying, because it's all about this decluttering, just getting rid of everything that doesn't serve us and just be in the moment. And we can be in the moment like this in 1 second. And from that state of being, we can really start loving ourselves because we see that there's nothing wrong with us. We are perfect just the way we are.
I love that. So let's start with that thought, because there's so much feedback that we get that we did this wrong or that wrong. And so tied really powerfully to this notion of self-love, to me, is the idea of forgiveness. And people get mixed up in the idea that forgiveness means absolution or that it means ignoring something that's wrong. And it doesn't mean any of that. Forgiveness, the way I think about it, and I've written a bunch of books, and one of them was, guess what? Forgiveness. I wrote a book about that, and all the books I've written have been stuff I needed. But I think of forgiveness as just no longer allowing events of the past to have power in the present. Yeah, and that is a choice I get to make, whether I'm forgiving myself of a mistake I made or something stupid or wrong with my current understanding, or whether I'm forgiving someone else some terrible thing they did to me. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't mean put yourself in jeopardy. It doesn't mean any of that crap. It just means I won't let that event continue to limit me today in that innocent state where you're saying, I don't know anything. I'm just going to do what seems like the very best thing right now in this moment. Do you find forgiveness to be a big part of the liberation that you bring to people?
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes, like most of the times, I really trigger people with what I say. And I just say, hey, take bits and pieces that you resonate with and leave the rest, ignore the rest. But what I know, not that I believe, but what I know is that our emotions, how we feel, it's our responsibility. Yeah. Nobody else is responsible for how we feel. So if we carry, this very heavy emotions and that resentment and, like anger or sadness or whatever, it's like, hey, this is ours. We have to deal with this. And when we forgive, first of all, it's like forgive ourselves. Oh my God, I was torturing myself for so long. That person, what happened, I'm not minimizing the traumatic experiences, not even close, but it's so liberating. It's so liberating when we, again, reframe the situation, reframe how we feel, like what is happening at the moment. And, on the other side of forgiveness, or the other side of this heavy emotions, are usually the biggest gifts. And I'm not just saying that, just because it sounds nice, but I can say it based on my own personal experiences, because I had a lot of situation that, I had to forgive myself for feeling certain way, in relationship with other people. Yeah.
Yeah, forgiving ourselves for judging ourselves. I mean, there's so much judgment. I was wrong. I was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. There's two layers. One is the actual thing, and two is all the judgment that we heap on ourselves or others for having behaved in some way that we judge to be wrong. So here's an interesting question. You had a spiritual awakening. Different paths, different things happened. It brought you to a place of realizing the expansive possibility of creating life like you want it. That's a series of experiments and trial and error, and some things work and some don't. And so you were able to bring yourself through that work and through the help of others and the stuff you did to a place of liberation and creativity. You could have stopped. You could have said, wow, I got this solved. For me, I'm happy. I'm living peace and joy and prosperity and coolness and whatever. And you didn't. You said, yeah, I did. And now I'm having this yearning, this irrepressible yearning rise up in me to help other people, my neighbor, my friend, my coworker, somebody I hated last week, experience the same thing. Talk a little bit about why it is that when we go through these transformative experiences, there seems to rise up at the same time this powerful urge to love, to serve, and to bless others. Why do you think that happens?
Yeah, that's in our essence. That's a really good question. Because, I'm coming from this recruitment background. And when I was talking to people, hey, what do you want to do? A lot of people, they just said to me, Anya, I just want to help people. I just want to support people, even though like they were in 9 to 5 jobs, in corporate jobs, but they wanted to have meaning. They wanted to feel, not useful, but meaningful. And I mean, now at this point, it's not like all, love and light and prosperity because we are all on a journey. But I came to the point where I can really support people, that I am who I am. I don't wear masks. Yeah. I really, I don't care. I love people, but I don't care what people think. I have my intentions are pure. My intentions are good, but I also see a lot of bullshit.
Right.
I also see a lot of bullshit, and I'm calling bullshit out. I'm calling it. I'm saying, because I'm not going to be quiet. And I came to the point that I'm playing by my own rules. We are still in a matrix. I still, like, I have a car. I have to pay for, petrol, or like I'm paying bills and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have financial security that I had when I had, 9 to 5 job or like corporate job. But that doesn't mean that I'm not happy, because I am. Because every day when I wake up, it's like, oh my God. And I'm meeting people like you, and similar people, like that we are on the similar mission. It's like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm here in this time on planet Earth, and I can co-create this amazing mission of creating new world, new reality. So it's not only about me, but I'm sharing this because I see myself, people know me as the energy activator. So I really, really like to share my energy, what I do, what I create, and what I am. Yeah.
That's fabulous. So I'm going to just do another little tangent here. The sharing of this energy and the calling that you have to do that. So I just want to be black and white. So what you're saying is, you, me, you, all listening, you, no matter where you are right now, no matter what you've been through before, you have the ability to start today, to make incremental, gradual changes, to capture a big vision that is the truth of your essence, and you can move forward at whatever pace makes sense to create a world that lines up with your deepest yearning, your deepest gifts, your deepest talents. And that means you can have and claim a life purpose, most of which is, I like to help people, because that's the buzzword we say. But it means also you can make a living. You can make money, and the people gladly give you because you're providing this free, I don't mean free cost, but this beautiful, empowering, uplifting, joyful energy and real solutions about how to deal with shadow work and old beliefs and limiting baggage that you're carrying around, and opening the vision to possibilities. And I know we use all these woo-woo words, but there's a million ways that you or I or you guys listening can create value. Money follows value. Money's actually easier to make now than it's ever been. And it's just finding the courage. So you're telling me and our listeners that you can do that no matter where you are, no matter what's gone on before. You can start today and move in that direction. Have I got that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we need to know something, that we are not here to do this by ourselves. Alone. We cannot become, we are not here to become victims and like slaves of our own creations. That's why connection to other people and like this gathering and co-creating is very, very, very important. And also I would like to mention one more thing. So if everybody like who's listening now, they can look their hands. Like you, Kellan, can also look at your hand. Like let's look at our hand, and let's look at our finger. Fingerprint. You have unique fingerprint. I have unique fingerprint. Every single person that is listening now, they have unique fingerprint. Why? To leave a unique imprint in this world. This is how I see it. And how and what that imprint is, they can decide. And I'm here to guide them, through this, because I have certain like expert knowledge or wisdom or whatever, but most importantly is that I kind of see, how can I express myself, like potential realities, based on their gifts, based on their abilities. And I see potential realities, what they can do and how they can do it. And it's like, hey, these are opportunities that I see now. Where do you want to go? But don't hold it. Don't hold on to that. But these are like opportunities where you can start walking this path. And people love that, because usually it's very, very difficult to start to make that first step. But when they have realization that they are here to do something unique, and I'm not saying that they are very special because of that, they are better than anyone else. No, I'm not saying that. It's just like unique, with their unique personality, with their unique past experiences, with their unique story, with their unique abilities, skills. They can create their own unique story.
They can. And I always say that the most important gift that you, Anya, or Kellan, or anybody else has, the most powerful gift, and that means to make the biggest difference, most money, and have the most fun. Impact, income, and most fun. You know what it is? It is the story of your own becoming.
Exactly.
The story of your own.
I call it remembering.
Yeah. That is what you've got. And everything else you teach, everything else you share is that thing over there that you know about, but it's not the essence of the truth. So if people want to follow you or find out more or connect with you or talk to you, what do they do? Where do they go?
Yeah, my main platform is LinkedIn. So they can find me on Anya Zibert, Free Spirit on LinkedIn, or freespirithc.com. That's my official website. I'm also on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever they will find me, and they will give me a nudge or something. I will definitely respond. And I would just like to tell that it's possible. It is possible. But we're not here to do anything by ourselves, because we are all pieces of the puzzle. How I see it, we have this huge table. We are bringing our skills, our stories, our, experiences to the table, and then we mix together and we create magic together. I can help individuals or even groups, in certain stages. Absolutely. But then when it's like, hey, you don't need me anymore, then, they're ready for a new one. Like Kellan, they can come from me, they can come to you. But it's all about that. Yeah, it's all about that. It's a journey.
I love what you're sharing and what you've shared. And I always say this or something like it. Listeners, look. You can hear this as a bunch of airy-fairy woo-woo stuff, and I don't care if you own a hardcore nuts and bolts business. The truth is, if you create your business and your life from a place of vision and freedom and taking off the limitations, seeing past those possibilities, whatever you're doing will grow exponentially, and it will be more fun, and it will be more rewarding, and you'll help more people, and you'll have a heck of a good time. I know it. I live that every day. Anya demonstrates that. Anya, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your energy and your love and your invitation with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation. It was very, very cool to talk to you. It's quite late here, but I'm like, super, super excited about this chat. And I hope that, people that they were listening today, they got bits and pieces that will help them, transform their life in any way, because what we were saying today is really powerful. They just have to listen with their heart, not only with their ears or their mind.
Thank you. So I want to encourage all of you to listen again, because what she just said there in conclusion is the real deal. Nothing's going to happen unless you do something. Nothing's going to happen unless you open your heart and explore the possibility. And you can say, it won't work for me. And you're right, it won't. But if you go in there and you say, you know what, maybe I could do this. I can make you a promise. If you get a hold of her and let her talk to you, let her listen to your heart, and let her open that vision for you so you can see what is possible for you, so you can move forward and create your ultimate life.
Never hold back and you'll never ask why. Open your heart and this time around.
Right here, right now. Your opportunity for massive growth is right in front of you. Every episode gives you practical tips and practices that will change everything. If you want to know more, go to KellanFluckigerMedia.com. If you want more free tools, go here, YourUltimateLife.ca. Subscribe, share.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your feet on the ground.